It's already spawned 3 agents. That's incredible. Claude Opus 4.8 dropped, and to me, the most important feature is the fact you can create dynamic workflows where Claude spawns hundreds of agents to be able to work on a task. I'm going to show you how to do that in real time live on this video. I'm going to give you what a lot of other videos are going to give you first, just a quick overview, the fact that it outperforms everything else in the category. Not even sure how accurate that is, and some of it's marginally better, like agentic coding, the multidisciplinary reasoning. Basically, they tried to sum this up by saying the reasoning is better, it can work by itself more, and yada yada yada. And the most importantly is, as well, outside of what I'm going to show you in this video, is that the fast mode is available. That does 2.5x the speed. You just have to like basically turn it on. You can go to fast mode to check that out, and it's the same price. They didn't raise any of the prices, so if you're paying for the free plan, there's a free plan. If you're paying for the max plan, there's that. Didn't change. And then finally, it makes calls like experienced engineers without needing constant check-ins. That's what we're testing today. We're going to try to get it to create a dynamic workflow to upgrade an app that I already have. So with all that being said, let's dive right into this and create a dynamic workflow. So tracking all the way back to maybe Opus 4.5 or something, I created an app and I created a website with that app. By the way, I'm thinking about making a full dedicated video on making websites using Claude Code. This by far isn't my best work. This was just something I wanted to get up to preview the app. This isn't really a shout out or anything like that. It's just the fact that what I'm going to be doing in this video is upgrading this entire experience. So right now my UI is mid. You can see just kind of from my app store, which is in, by the way, the iOS app store, Park Disc Golf, that the UI is mid, but the experience does what it's supposed to do. In disc golf, which is a lot like golf, it keeps track of a round with birdies, pars, etc. And my biggest pitch point to it is if you're parked, you have something that tracks your park stats that you can compare up against your friends. Well, I've been wanting to do a complete overhaul of the app. So what I'm going to try to do today is get Opus 4.8 to find any bugs in it, ultimately do a very strong UI update, which I imagine it's going to struggle with because it's actually not the best at rendering images or doing UI, but we're going to see what it does. And find any, like an engineer, any kind of improvements that would make the app experience better for users. So with all that being said, let's see what it can do. I wanted to go over the app with you, but honestly, it's been so long since I made an upgrade. There's a lot that's broken right now. So it's not even a good example. Like I can't even sign in for some reason. Obviously these stats aren't going to show or anything like that, but you can see most of the app is not working. And this is a mobile app. So Claude's going to fix that today. So let's go over to the Claude code and let's see what we can do. So basically what I've done right here is you can see at the top left that this is actually Claude Opus 4.8. That was a little hard to get into. Basically I just had to type in, when I signed into Claude, type in Claude and then Opus 4.8 and then got in there, but it wasn't by default. Next, I was making sure based off of the article how to actually use this dynamic workflow, because I don't want to just pretend to use it and not actually use it. And it says all I have to do is just say dynamic workflow. So I'm doing a prompt to say create a dynamic workflow for my disc golf app, and exactly what I wanted to do, which is create a plan to execute full UI upgrade. I want you to check for any bugs, and any features you can improve throughout the app. I think I'll even go in there. I think I'll even go in there and say after bugs, like it has been a while since we've shipped upgrades. Already I had trouble signing in and starting rounds. Please look into any possible broken features. All right, and so I don't know if there's an actually, like, I know they have an ultra code mode now. Let's just go ahead and throw that in there as well. Let's see if it just shows up. Ultra. Let's just leave it as is. And this is going to obviously take a while, but I want to leave this recording for now because I want to show you, I want to show myself, I haven't tried this yet, how this is going to look, if it's going to look any different than previously the 4.7 did. What 4.7 would do is it would list tasks that it would need to do, and then it would break down each task. So let's say like it would say like creating a plan for the UI, and then it would kind of list like these little like check boxes on what it needs to do. So first and foremost, I want to see if this looks different. So it's entered plan mode automatically. I think that's already an improvement because normally I would have to actually shift to plan mode, and I would forget to do that all the time, as you just saw me do. So it just shifted to plan mode by itself. I'll dispatch 3 parallel agents, explore agents on the auth sign-in workflow, on the start of the round flow, and the overall UI. It's already spawned 3 agents. That's incredible. Working on each of those tasks, and each using tokens for their task. So far, each of these agents have used 83,000 tokens in that little bit of time that we've already spawned them. And they're working in this parallel to make this a lot faster than previously, just one agent working on one task, taking more time. I see this saving so much time. And now you can see at the bottom, it has the main, which is like the main workflow that it's working on, and then the the agents that are exploring, sort of how those bullet points I mentioned earlier were, but now they're at the bottom. So again, this is already a big change and a big improvement. And if you see me kind of, I don't want to just fill empty space. I want every second of this video to be valuable for you. If you're using Claude Code, or if you're using Claude Opus 4.8, like to see the differences, but I also don't want to just fill in empty space. So if I see it just kind of bouncing back and forth and not really doing a whole lot, then I'll just like cut the video and we'll continue to actually see the improvements. So it just gave me an update after about 6 minutes and 38 seconds. Strong findings from all 3 agents. Let me verify most bearing claims directly. The sign-in hang route calls and the start round path before I plan, and is verifying. So basically it identified the issue and it's going to go fix the issue. So we should be able to sign in, when this is done, which is great because anybody who was using my app wouldn't be able to sign in. But I already plan on kind of restoring this app before this 4.8 came out. So the fact that I don't have to individually try my hardest to find each of these problems, like 4.7 would have struggled a little bit more with identifying these, and would have already asked me like 50 times to confirm things. Like, you allow me to do this, allow me to do that. Even though it actually hasn't taken like steps, it's kind of just like looking into it right now, but pretty great. All right, so I verified the facts, which is the root cause. The SQL string is wrong or something like that. All right, whatever. So here's kind of what I was talking about earlier. It already has the checkboxes for me. Let's see what it's asking. It's asking how aggressive should the UI be? Should it be a deep redesign, token key screens only, or fluid polished? I kind of, just for the sake of, I don't want this video to be like an hour long. I'm going to go with their recommendation, which is fluid. Which growth stickiness features should I prioritize building autonomously? Onboarding flow, first run tutorial walkthrough. That's pretty cool. Leaderboards. I like all of these. Viral sharing, daily streaks, and reward. I like all of these. Oh my gosh. Do all of them. Do all of them. How much autonomy do I have on the backend shipping? I have been acquiring the SQL, but you know what? Go ahead and go for it, brother. Just go for it. Just full autonomy. I want you to have as much autonomy as possible. I feel like I'm working with a freaking engineer right now. Like, they're just like knocking it out the park. Now, with that being said, it's all 3 answers are locked. All 4 growth features, fluid polish, full autonomy. It's been thinking for 7 minutes and 48 seconds. I expect the rest of this process to take significantly longer for the task that it needs to do. So I'll probably see you in a couple minutes and I'll update you. All right, so I just wrote a very comprehensive plan, and it wants to fix the auth issues and startup round bugs. It wants to do a broader bug hunt, fix the UI, apply it, implement all those growth features, and it's telling me like the verifies, like what it wants to do, what it can do, the critical fixes, the strategy, and everything. Now is the fun part. Do I want this to go auto mode? Yes, absolutely I do. Why not knock it out the park, Claude? And we'll get back to you, but that looks like a solid plan to me. I think it's worth a little check-in here. The fact that this has been working autonomously for over half an hour. We are 30 minutes, about to be 31 minutes into this part of the workflow. And it has been, of course, auto mode already existed to where it didn't have to ask you for permission. But overall, since the beginning of this session, other than just trying to get reasonable ideas from me of like approvals, just like any kind of engineer would to the CEO. Other than that, I mean, there's been very little like approvals, back and forth, anything like that. So I'm very interested to see the results at the end of this and to see if it did everything pretty nicely. And if it did, then we're going to submit it to the App Store. And heck, by the time you watch this video, I doubt you're a disc golfer, but you could see if there's a difference or not. And again, I mean, I also want to just be clear, like if you don't care about disc golf, that's not really the point of this video. It just happens to be the app that I did build and that I want to continue building. And I'll do a bunch of other apps too, but this is one that I really want to do a full makeover on. All right, this is my first look. I'm signed into the app and immediately it just looks better on the feed. And where it says start a round, that's really just popping out to me. And then the leaderboards now. This didn't even exist before the agents went in. You can see me at the top of the leaderboard, obviously, because it's my app. But there's a ton of other people, you know, that have downloaded the app right under me. And if I go to friends, these are actually friends that I've added. So this is super cool that they even has this feature. You can look at parked stats and from your friends or global. You can look at streaks from your friends or global. And again, there's not a lot of very active people in the app right now, but overall, maybe there will be because it's really cool. The active challenges are at the bottom. This whole thing just looks cleaner. The stats, let's look at the stats. The 1,004 at the top right is a noticeable difference. The rest look pretty close to how they were. And the putting percentages are still a bit off. I don't love that. But scrolling down here, this looks dramatically better on the strengths and weaknesses, the coaching tips, the round history, all this. It's hard to explain because I couldn't even show you because the app wasn't even functioning. But this one prompt and 40 minutes of Claude just going at it fixed everything in the app. So this looks pretty incredible. And then the actual round scoring, let's go to a round and start it. It feels cleaner. It looks about the same. Let's say like I parked this hole. I parked this hole. I got a bogey on this hole. Let's see if just like one click finishes it, because I know sometimes I would have to like double click it. Let's see if that looks like it's good. And boom, I mean, it's so fast. It shows my XP earned. I know, again, you didn't have it before, so you're just going to take my word for it on my upgrades, but this is looking really good in my opinion. The last thing I want to look is like my profile. So if I go to my profile, it shows like my level, which is a big deal to me. How many rounds, my round history. Yeah, this looks great. I think the UI could have been a little stronger in the upgrade, but I mean, this is one prompt that it worked by itself for 45 minutes. If I had to give this like a 1 out of 5, I would say it's about a 3.5. I would have given it like a 4.5 if the UI was like dramatically increased, but it definitely did a good job and it made the app completely functional with just that simple prompt you saw at the beginning. Let me know if you like this very comprehensive video. If so, I'll make more and I'll see you guys next time.